Hi, Neil Williams here, president of Turnkey Parlor, and today we're going to be using a dry powdered yogurt called Cielo. That's C-I-E-L-O, and the website is cielousa.com. Powder, you have to make powder, you have to mix it. That's the difference. You can either buy liquid, where you buy it frozen and you thaw it and then you just pour it in. For different reasons, you may opt to go with a dry product, and Cielo is a really good dry product. You don't have to have a freezer for it, so you can store more of it, especially if you're international or overseas. It's a lot easier to deal with. It's easier to deal with from a standpoint that you don't have to thaw it or defrost it, so it's easier to manage inventory from that perspective too. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how it's made. It's pretty much as simple as grabbing the bag. This is I think it's a 1.3. It yields 1.3 gallons. You use one gallon of water. Basically, cut the bag open. This is pistachio flavor. You pour it in, okay, to the gallon of water. Okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing with this one. This one's coconut. Okay. Again, Cielo frozen yogurt. We like it. We think it's a good product. And then you can take a mixer, a professional mixer like this. This is a Waring. You can do this. You could whisk it by hand. This is a little easier. It's going to be loud. I'm going to get this thing going here in a second. But you want to make sure that you really mix the heck out of it for about 3 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to do the same thing for this one. And once we're done, we're going to come back to you. So we're not going to bore you with the whole 3 minutes, but this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so we're back. We just finished mixing the Cielo dry mix with 1 gallon of plain water in each one. This one's coconut, 1 gallon. It yields about 1.3 gallons. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it on our Oxford OX500 machine right here. This is our floor model we've been using here for testing. And the way that we do it is we start by putting approximately 32 ounces of product. Okay. Okay, so this is 32 ounces. Okay. We pull out the little air tube. Okay. We pour 32 ounces of pistachio on that side. Then I'm going to wash this out, and we'll be right back to do the coconut. Okay, so we just did the pistachio for one side. Now we're going to do the coconut on the other side. Again, we're doing 32 ounces. And the reason this is important not to put too much in the hopper is because what we're trying to do by putting 32 ounces in is filling. We're going to take the air tube out, because what we're essentially doing is filling a little bit more than half the cylinder. The cylinder's in here. So we want to fill it with about 60% mix so that there's 40% air. So we start out with the right air to product ratio. So anywhere between 55 and 60% mix and 40 to 45% air is going to do the trick. Okay? So as you can see it bubbling in there, I'm going to put the tube back in here in a second. That's filling up the cylinder. Okay? Both cylinders are now full. All right, so both cylinders are now full, and they're not full with mix, but they're ready to go. They're full. They're about 55, 60% mix, 40, 45% air. We're going to hit auto. The machine is going to kick on. It's going to get loud because it's going to start cranking product, and the compressors and the fans are going to come on and everything. And then we're going to let it cycle, which is about a 10 to 12 minute cycle when you're first making product. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes to draw the first product. And then from there on, it takes you draw a little product, the machine cranks, runs for a few minutes to just make sure that whatever new liquid mix is coming in, that gets frozen in the cylinder too. So we're going to hit auto. That's going to kick the machine in. Okay. You hear the compressor come on, the fan comes on, and it's going to start making the product. We'll be back in about 12 minutes. Okay, so we're back. The machine is cycled through once. And the reason we didn't pour everything in the hoppers, the reason we just did the 32 ounces in each side, and then we ran the cycle, is because it'll freeze the exact ratio that we put in there, which was about 60-40, 60% mix to 40% air. So now it's gone through a cycle and frozen that into the cylinder. And when we pour the rest of the mix in now, because the cylinder's already frozen and has product in there, no more mix will go in there and disturb the ratio of air to mix. One of the reasons that you'll walk into yogurt stores that have really runny product, or it's really dense or dark, is because they don't start properly with the right air to product mixture, and that creates problems. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pistachio and we're going to go ahead and pour the rest of it into here. Okay, so that's our hopper full of pistachio. Okay, then we're taking the coconut here, go in, put the balance of it in there. And now this product will feed into the cylinder as the product sells. It'll feed into the back of the cylinder, and as people buy the product, the new liquid will go into the back of the cylinder. The machine will crank. As soon as we start pulling the handle, you're going to hear the machine get loud again. It's going to crank. It's going to start knowing that product's coming out of it. It's got to feed new product into the back of the cylinder. It's got to crank it. But now the air to mix ratio is proper, so we should get a really good looking product right now. As soon as I pull the handle, it's going to get loud again, but you're going to see how nice the product is coming out. Okay. So this is the pistachio on this side. Okay, look at how beautiful that product is. Okay. Alright, we're going to do some of the coconut. Alright, so you can't argue with how good that product looks. Alright. The only thing that you want to do is, that product came out a little bit slow, so maybe at a 4, it's a little bit set too high. We're going to go ahead and do the mix. Sometimes if it's set too high, you're going to have a little trouble with the mix. This is a coconut and pistachio mix, so that's looking pretty nice. Again, this is Cielo frozen yogurt. It's a dry mix product. The positives to the dry mix, the dry powder mix, are that you don't need that much refrigerator to frozen storage. It's easy to make, and it actually makes a really good product. Thank you. Call us. We can talk about the Oxford machine. We've also got some other machines available. Give us a call.